Imagine celebrating your 90th birthday feeling strong, joyful, and truly grateful, without struggle or pain holding you back. It's not just luck or chance. There are clear signs showing you're already on the path to a long, healthy life. Today, discover 7 simple but powerful signs that you're likely to reach 90 effortlessly by living the right way. If these resonate with you or someone you love, it's time to celebrate and keep moving forward with confidence. If you want to learn more about naturally extending your life and feeling your best every day, please like this video and subscribe. Share your own stories in the comments. Your journey could inspire someone else to live longer and happier. Consistent, moderate physical activity plays a crucial role in maintaining health and increasing the chances of a long life. Engaging in gentle activities such as walking, gardening, or light stretching helps keep muscles strong and bones healthy. These movements improve circulation, which supports the heart by reducing the risk of cardiovascular diseases. Additionally, moderate exercise stimulates the brain, enhancing memory, mood, and overall mental function. Research shows that seniors who remain physically active tend to experience fewer chronic illnesses and maintain their independence longer. Even small daily efforts add up, making this a powerful habit to support longevity. Maintaining strong social connections is a key factor in living a long, healthy life. Research consistently shows that seniors who regularly interact with close friends and family experience lower stress levels and better mental health. These relationships provide emotional support, reduce feelings of loneliness, and help buffer the effects of aging-related challenges. Social engagement stimulates the brain, keeping it active and alert, which supports memory and cognitive function. Doctors often emphasize that meaningful social bonds can decrease the risk of depression and anxiety, conditions linked to physical health decline. Whether it's a weekly phone call, a shared meal, or a community activity, staying connected keeps both mind and body healthier for longer. Prioritizing these relationships is more than just enjoyable. It's essential for maintaining independence and vitality well into later years. Maintaining a positive outlook on life plays a powerful role in healthy aging. Scientific studies have shown that optimism can actually reduce inflammation and lower levels of stress hormones like cortisol, which are linked to many chronic illnesses. When the body experiences less inflammation, the immune system functions more efficiently, helping to protect against diseases common in older adults. Doctors point out that a hopeful mindset also supports better heart health, improves sleep quality, and promotes faster recovery from injuries or illness. People who focus on positive experiences and maintain a sense of purpose often report higher energy levels and better overall well-being. Cultivating optimism is not about ignoring life's difficulties, but about facing them with resilience and hope. This emotional strength helps seniors manage stress more effectively, leading to a longer, more vibrant life. It's clear that keeping a sunny disposition isn't just good for the soul, it's essential for the body too. Embracing positivity every day supports graceful aging and a stronger resistance to illness. Eating a balanced and nutritious diet is essential for seniors to maintain health and prevent chronic diseases. Whole foods such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and healthy fats provide antioxidants, fiber, and essential nutrients that support the body's functions. Antioxidants help fight oxidative stress, which can damage cells and contribute to aging and illness. Fiber aids digestion and helps control blood sugar and cholesterol levels, reducing the risk of heart disease and diabetes, which are common concerns for seniors. Healthy fats like those found in olive oil, avocados, and fatty fish support brain health and reduce inflammation throughout the body. Doctors recommend focusing on natural, unprocessed foods because they deliver a wider range of nutrients and fewer harmful additives. A diet rich in these components strengthens the immune system, promotes better energy levels, and supports healthy weight management. It also plays a crucial role in maintaining muscle mass and bone density, which are vital for mobility and independence. As people age, eating well can improve mood and cognitive function, helping seniors stay mentally sharp. Avoiding processed and sugary foods further protects against chronic conditions. By choosing a variety of colorful, nutrient-dense foods, seniors provide their bodies with the tools needed for repair and resilience. This approach to nutrition not only supports physical health, but also enhances overall quality of life, making daily activities easier and more enjoyable. In short, a balanced, wholesome diet is a cornerstone of healthy aging, helping seniors stay strong and vibrant well into their later years. Quality sleep is essential for maintaining brain function, especially as we age. During deep, restful sleep, the brain clears out toxins that build up during the day, allowing memories to consolidate and mental clarity to improve. Research shows that seniors who consistently get enough good sleep perform better on memory tests and experience fewer mood disorders like depression and anxiety. Sleep also regulates important hormones, including those that control appetite, stress, and growth, helping to maintain a healthy metabolism and reduce inflammation. A strong immune system relies heavily on restorative sleep, as this is when the body repairs cells and fights off infections. Without sufficient sleep, seniors face higher risks of chronic illnesses such as heart disease, diabetes, and cognitive decline. Doctors emphasize the importance of good sleep hygiene, like maintaining a regular sleep schedule, avoiding caffeine late in the day, and creating a quiet, dark sleeping environment to improve sleep quality. Addressing common sleep problems, such as insomnia or sleep apnea with a healthcare provider, can further protect health and longevity. In short, prioritizing quality sleep helps seniors preserve mental sharpness, physical resilience, and overall well-being, making it a key factor in living well into old age. Regular health checkups and preventive care are vital for maintaining good health, especially after the age of 50. Routine screenings and doctor visits help catch potential health problems early, before they develop into serious conditions. Many diseases, such as high blood pressure, diabetes, and certain cancers, can be managed more effectively when detected promptly. Early treatment often means less invasive procedures and better outcomes, allowing seniors to stay active and independent longer. Preventive care also includes vaccinations and lifestyle counseling that reduce risks of illness. Doctors emphasize the importance of keeping a consistent schedule for checkups tailored to one's age and medical history. These visits provide an opportunity to review medications, monitor chronic conditions, and adjust treatments as needed. Ignoring regular checkups can lead to complications that may be harder to treat and cause unnecessary suffering. By staying proactive, seniors empower themselves to live healthier, more vibrant lives. Preventive care supports not only physical health, but also mental and emotional well-being by reducing anxiety about unknown health issues. It's a key strategy for enhancing quality of life and longevity. In summary, regular health checkups and preventive care offer a critical safety net, catching small problems early and helping seniors maintain strength and independence well into their later years. Having a clear sense of purpose and staying engaged in meaningful activities can significantly impact health and longevity, especially after 50. Research consistently shows that seniors who maintain hobbies, set goals, or dedicate time to causes they care about tend to live longer and enjoy better mental and emotional well-being. Purpose gives the mind a reason to stay active, which helps slow cognitive decline and reduces the risk of depression and anxiety. Engaging in hobbies or volunteer work also provides social interaction, which strengthens emotional connections and combats loneliness, a known risk factor for many chronic illnesses. Mental stimulation from learning new skills or pursuing passions encourages brain plasticity, helping memory and problem-solving abilities stay sharp. Doctors often recommend staying mentally and physically active as a cornerstone of healthy aging because it supports overall resilience and vitality. Having goals, no matter how small, fosters a sense of accomplishment and self-worth, which promotes motivation and a positive outlook on life. Emotional satisfaction gained from contributing to something bigger than oneself can increase happiness and reduce stress levels, which is beneficial for heart health and immune function. Purpose-driven living helps seniors maintain independence, and improves their ability to cope with challenges that come with aging. In summary, finding and nurturing personal purpose through hobbies, goals, or meaningful causes provides seniors with motivation, mental exercise, and emotional fulfillment, all of which contribute to a longer, healthier life.